fine. So it would make a lot of sense if I put some gameplay footage in this video, but I'm not doing that. So you get to experience me messing around with boxes the entire time. Woo! So, Sonic Origins Plus. This is the newest and still the newest Sonic compilation for all the older Sonic games right now. It's basically on all the modern platforms right now except for Switch 2. I'm sure Sega's gonna rip us off by forcefully making me re-buy the game just to play it on Switch 2. Seems very like them at the moment. But anyways, so Sonic Origins was originally just a compilation of Sonic 1, 2, CD, and 3 Knuckles. And they were all remastered compared to their original Genesis counterparts, which I was really excited for because the only Sonic compilation I had for me personally was Sonic Mega Collection Plus, and I wanted to experience these games in their definitive form, and I got to do that with the Sonic 1, 2 mobile remakes, and then the 2011 remake of CD, which was on all the older platforms, or oldish platforms, and then PC, which is the one that I originally played that CD remake on, and then of course that was on mobile as well. And that's what 1-2 CD is heavily based off of, and just straight up ported in Sonic Origins. It was just the mobile remakes, and then the 2011 remake of CD. And then 3 Knuckles was made specially for this compilation, which I was really excited for. I wanted a official way to play a Sonic 3 Air type experience. Sonic 3 Air is a fan remaster of Sonic 3 Knuckles. So I was really excited for this compilation. Like, I was really looking out for this one. And then when it came out, I was kind of bummed out that there was no, like, physical release, only digital at launch. And then there was a digital deluxe edition as well, which kind of... looking back on it, it was kind of a waste of money, but it should have been a part of the collection without a digital deluxe. Like, basically Sega's new release thing for every major game that they release is just, oh, here's the game, but if you want the actual cool content, here's digital deluxe, like, screw you. Like, that's all Sega does now. That's, as much as I love Sega and all, and mostly Sonic games, but, come on, stop making me pay more for my ability to play Sonic 2 for the bajillionth time. And I have, like, multiple versions of Sonic 2 on the same console. Like, do you know how many versions of Sonic 2 is on the Nintendo Switch alone? And I own all of them. I own every version of Sonic 2 except for Genesis Classics. Like, come on. Anyways, the Digital Deluxe version of Sonic Origins, before Sonic Origins Plus, was... It should have been part of the collection like, most Sonic collections come with some bonus content, and this one basically didn't. It kinda did, but it kinda didn't at the same time. Like, really? Basically, what you had to pay for was, at first, extra levels for mission mode, which, I mean, cool. That's worth for DLC, but the amount of levels that they added new for the DLC was really, really small. Like 3 levels per game, but not even 3 levels per game. Only 3 new levels for Sonic 1, 2, and 3, and then 2 new ones for Sonic CD. So they just were too lazy to make a 3rd one for CD for some reason. Which I don't know why. And even though that they're called Extreme, they're not even that hard. They're not even that hard. But as well, the DLC also came with a absolutely amazing feature, which I'll reveal right here. There we go, funny noises. You had to pay to control the camera of the menus. You had to pay for this. This is the menu that's shows the island of the game behind, you know, each game. So, South Island for Sonic 1, Little Planet thingy-babob for Sonic CD, and then whatever. You had to pay to get camera controls on this. You had to pay camera controls for this. Like, what the hell? complete waste of money. But as well, crap, the camera went crazy. You had to pay for new songs in the music section of the museum. What? You had to pay for, Sonic Spinball, Knuckles Chaotix, and Sonic 3D Blast. Just to listen to their soundtracks. Ugh! And they didn't even go all the way either. Like, Knuckles Chaotix's soundtrack was, at launch, like, each song was not in their proper title. Like, Door into Summer was Midnight Greenhouse. Midnight Greenhouse was probably Door into Summer. I don't really remember. But everything was wrong on Knuckles Chaotix, which is something you shouldn't do to the greatest Sonic spin-off of all times. And as well, there's no... How about access to the Sonic 3D Blast for Sega Saturn? Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine on Genesis. Sonic Eraser. I know damn well they have access to all of that. Like, there's no excuses to that. No one should defend that at all. Like, what the hell? Or, even better, make the games playable. Because Sonic Mega Collection Plus had more games than Sonic Origins at launch. Or just any compilation other than, like, Sonic Jam, which was equal to Sonic Origins. Or less, technically, in a way. Because there was no Sonic 3 and Sonic & Knuckles by itself. And there still isn't either. Where's my option to do that? But I was still pretty happy with it, in a way. Like, this was a way to play the definitive versions of these games while they were still being ruined by glitches at launch. Drop Dash was added at least, so that makes up for it. But Roll Jump Lock was in Sonic 1 and 2, so you can't do a Drop Dash this way if you're jumping like this way. You can only go that way. So, cool. Thanks, Sega. And as well, Drop Dash was weirdly added into CD, which is kind of broken in CD. And thankfully there's no Roll Jump Lock, because that was fixed thanks to the 2011 remake. Because, yeah. Thank you to Christian Whitehead for making the 2011 remake, and the other guys that ported them back over to this collection. Or, I guess Sega ported it over. Because there's no Drop Dash animations for Sonic 1, 2, and CD. But there is for 3. Like, Sonic 3 in Sonic Origins is a great remaster. But then it gets ruined by one little thing. The soundtrack. And it gets absolutely compressed to all hell. I have a feeling that it wasn't the people remastering it. It wasn't their fault at all. It was definitely Sega's fault. Because, I don't know. And as well, of course there's going to be like no Michael Jackson soundtrack from the original release of Sonic 3, which makes a lot of sense. Like, of course that's going to happen, because that's the reason why they never released Sonic 3 for the longest time. But there was the prototype tracks that got leaked at one point, and those are pretty good. I still prefer the Michael Jackson soundtrack all the way here, but the prototype is pretty good. But for Carnival Night, Ice Cap, and Launch Base, they made completely new original tracks that suck so bad. Like, it's them trying to recreate Genesis soundtracks again, and then it just doesn't work out. They heavily based it towards, like, the Sonic & Knuckles collection for PC, which those versions were okay in some cases, depending on what version of Sonic & Knuckles collection on PC you're playing. But the one in Sonic Origins just sucks so bad. And then Ice Cap Zone Act 2 was not even changed, which I find odd. And then Act 1 sounded like Act 2 compared to the prototype. Like, that's funny comparing it to the prototype of Ice Cap. And I don't know, man. I know some people might enjoy it, but it's just so ear-bleeding to me. Every time that they try to recreate Genesis-sounding songs, they just always fail that. And then, exclusively to Sonic Origins, is a new super theme for Sonic for Sonic 3. And it sounds exactly like Sonic 4, which doesn't fit well at all. Like, they're basically in Sonic 1 and 2, I'm sure for most of the Sonic music fans, you know what the drums or percussion sounds like. And you know that Sonic 4 shares that same drums and percussion, which is what they did to recreate the Genesis style soundtrack. And then they added, like, new, whatever, crappy instruments on top of that, digital instruments. And it just sucks so bad. And it's so ear-bleeding. And that's another reason why I hate Sonic 4 so much. Worst game of all time. So, in Sonic 3, they recreated that style, which doesn't make any sense when Sonic 3 should have... At the very least, they should have, like, used the drums and percussion for, the Sonic 3 drums and percussion for it. Because they clearly had access to it when they made original Carnival Night, Ice Cap, and Launch bass tracks for this collection as well. And, DJ Spin Dash, which was a guy that remastered Sonic 3's soundtrack, including the Michael Jackson soundtrack, thank you, dude, in Sonic 3 Air, actually did a little edit of the super theme by replacing that drums and percussion with the Sonic 3 drums and percussion, and it sounds a lot better. It's still kind of ass because, you know, it's still has the main crappy whatever the hell digital instruments that they're using, but it sounds a lot better. Check that out. I might forget to link it in the description or in the card, but if I do remember, I'll put it there. Yeah, it's just so... That's the one complaint about the Sonic 3 as well. And I know damn well that they had access to the prototype, because the competition menu and the unused theme was actually, and the prototype Sonic 3 credits is in this version of Sonic 3. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, they did so many things right with this collection, and so many things wrong. And then, of course, this brings us to the plus of Sonic Origins. Of course, I bought the Plus digital at launch as well. It came out basically, I think, exactly a year after the original Sonic Origins Plus. I mean, Sonic Origins, not Sonic Origins Plus. The original Sonic Origins, a year after the original Sonic Origins. And then the Plus DLC, I bought that at launch. And, stupidly, they put the Digital Deluxe Edition back into the bundle. So I had to pay the same damn price for Digital Deluxe that I already own just to get the Plus DLC. Like, screw you. And then, of course, I got this physical copy later on around, like, Christmas of about, I think, another year later, or of that same year. I don't really remember now. But I know for a fact that it's definitely, like, a year. It's definitely a year, because this is a pretty recent thing I got for my collection. But Sonic Origins Plus, ever since it got leaked, I was, like, really excited. Like, oh my god, they're finally gonna add new stuff, new games. Let me think here. If there's, the museum has Sonic 3D Blast, Sonic Spinball, Knuckles Chaotix. Oh my god, they're gonna add those games into the collection. Remastered, or at the very least, emulated. Like, I would take emulated versions of those games. And, hey, maybe they'll throw in Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine Genesis. Hey, maybe even add Sonic Eraser. Heck, maybe if they're super nice, they'll add 3D Blast Saturn and Sonic Eraser. Or for the first time, Sega Sonic the Hedgehog, which was an arcade game that was originally planned for Gems Collection. Maybe they'll do that. No, wanna know what they added instead? The damn frickin' Sonic Game Gear games. The most accessible Sonic games of all time. Like, they're in, basically, in every Sonic compilation. Or at least a majority of them. They were unlockables in Sonic Adventure DX. 6 of them were available on Sonic Mega Collection Plus, and then the other 6 were available in Sonic Gems Collection. And then, as well, they were released in the Nintendo 3DS Virtual Console And, dude, please, stop it with the Game Gear games. Like, I know that they're, like, oddballs in Sonic's history, but I'm just tired of seeing these, man. I was so disappointed that the Game Gear games was the one big thing that's new to the collection. Honestly, I think the Game Gear games should have came with Sonic Origins, but maybe as, like, unlockables to bring those coins to use. Like, the only thing that those coins were used for was the premium collection of the museum. And, which, I mean, cool, it gives some use for the coins, but I think that, the Sonic Game Gear games should have been a part of the museum as well. Like, just make a Game Gear section, and then, you have to pay, like, 100 coins, so then we can actually, like, grind out these coins, and then buy each Game Gear game one by one. And as well... yeah. That's it. Thankfully they did add, like, 2-player, which I think is the first time that the 2-player, came to these Game Gear games, other than maybe like 3DS Virtual Console, that might have had 2-player, but 2-player is now here for Sonic Drift, Sonic Drift 2, Beam Machine, and yeah. I find it very odd that the 2-player versions of each game that it supports multiplayer is its own separate slot. Like, I think it should have been the same slot, and then the option of 1-player, 2-player, kind of, which I'm pretty sure is something they've done in, like, other compilations, like Sonic Mega Collection Plus. If you had, like, a second controller connected, you have the option of, do you want to play this in 1-player or 2-player? Like, I think that would have made a lot more sense, but it's still cool that they're here, but I really wanted, like, at the very least, emulated versions of those other Genesis Sonic games, and Knuckles Chaotix for the first time, because I think that, as much as Knuckles Chaotix is a really weird game in some cases, but people need to play that game, and I think if Sega made it more accessible through this collection, I think a lot more people would find out about it, regardless of it having, like, really odd physics and all. Maybe even, like, they should have done a remaster to maybe touch up on those physics, and then it would have been easily accessible in the most definitive way. But goddamn. But as well, because this is a physical copy, it comes with this art book, which, I mean, I'm always happy to have. I really love stuff like this. But the lame thing that I find about the really lame thing about this art book is that all of these are you're actually have to find these in the museum of the game, which I find kind of lame. Like, none of these are original stuff. Like, look at that. Like, we all know damn well everyone has access to the Sonic and Knuckles box art, and as well, like, all the different kinds of box arts for across all different regions. And I think that the only thing new here is, like, the Game Gear covers here, which is weird. And I don't know why this isn't in the actual collection. And as well, I don't think this is even, like, most of the proper box arts for certain regions. Like, none of these are actually, like, correct for the North American box arts. Like, Sonic and Tails would be Sonic Chaos, and, Sonic and Tails 2 would be Sonic Triple Trouble. So that's kind of odd. So I guess that's kind of cool. I guess it's somewhat original. But at the very least, like, full key arts is part of the museum, which I think is only the North American versions, which I find really odd as well. But yeah. But most of this stuff is, like, stuff you can find in the collection itself. Like, look at all this. All of this artwork you can find unlockable in the game that you have to pay with coins. So I find it weird as well that they're putting one of the biggest unlockables for them in the art book as well. So that's kind of weird. I do appreciate the fact that they put, like, the different regions of reversible cover arts, because I only have access to the North American one here, which it's still my favorite one because, you know, it's my region. I get the one different name all to myself. But yeah, the art book I like still, because it's a physical piece of media, so I find it pretty cool. But Sonic Mania's had like actual original art made for it. Like, let me flip to a example page here. All this that they added is like completely original artwork you can't find in the game, which I mean it makes some sense in some cases because it's not a collection, it's just a standalone title. But all this artwork is completely original. And then they have like, it's sure a couple of them here and there is like key arts that you'd see in other places, but most of this is original, never before seen crap. Which, I mean, I guess once again, because this is a collection of older games, it makes sense for them to put more, put artwork that we've seen lots of times like this. But I think they should have done, like, a little bit more. Like, how about, like, all of them? Like, I think for a fact that Sonic Mania's art book might be, like, slightly thicker, or maybe about equal. I think it's slightly thicker. Yeah, it is. So maybe, like, they should have added a little bit more, but I'm still happy that I have a physical art book of some sort. So, as much as I absolutely despise this collection in some cases, because they removed the remastered soundtrack from Sonic 1 and 2, replaced it with the original Genesis music, CD no longer has the unused loops from both the Japanese soundtrack and the North American soundtrack. Now they're using the 20th anniversary versions of the tracks, which is an album that's on Spotify. And then as well, I swear that Sonic CD soundtrack got put through a low-quality MP3 converter, because I swear those drum beats just sound really odd in some cases. And Sonic 3 Knuckles has a completely compressed soundtrack. There's lots of glitches at launch. You had to pay for Sonic Origins Plus just to get Knuckles and Sonic CD, which should have been part of the original Sonic Origins collection. But hey, we finally got Amy playable, and she's basically been on a really big comeback lately, which I really appreciate. But yeah, I mean, regardless of this collection not being the most perfect thing in the world, I still love it. Like, this, I don't know, I have a complicated relationship with Sonic CD. Sonic Origins. I was talking about Sonic CD, that's why I said that, I'm sorry. I have a complicated relationship with Sonic Origins. That's gonna be the title for this video, there you go. My complicated relationship with Sonic Origins. Plus. So yeah, I can't believe I said Sonic CD, like what the hell. But yeah, I don't know. I have so many complaints, yet I'm still have the frickin' balls to try to 100% this compilation, regardless of the fact that Classic Mode isn't actually Classic Mode.